VCW's transportation provided by Jetpack Movers.
Greetings, wrestling purists. Hutch Henry's here, and thanks for joining us on Victory Wrestling Showcase. Brought to you, of course, by Sonic Boom Records and CDs, located at 215 Spadina Avenue right here in Toronto. Now, if you've been joining us for the last few weeks here on Victory Wrestling Showcase, we got more of the same for you, folks. International wrestling action, as well as an open weight championship shot. We're going to be following Daniel Parker going to Japan. He has sent us another match from the 01 Wrestling promotion over there where he is, as well as Nick Watts takes on the Kung-Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop one last time. If Watts can't beat the champ, he says he's out of here. He's going to quit for good. And we've got a special interview with T.B. Doyle explaining exactly why that match is going to happen. But I am pretty excited. Let's get right to that action now. 01 Pro Wrestling out of Japan. It's Yoshikazu Yokoyama against the D-Man Daniel Parker.
さあ試合が始まりました。横山義和対マトリックス。やはりね、こうして並ぶとまだまだマトリックスの体の細さが目につくとこですが、そうです。01はですね、CM パンク AJ スタイルズが日本に初来日した時上がったリングが01ですからね、このリングからいろんなね、スター外国人選手が生まれてきてますから、マトリックスも何年後かにはものすごい WWE あたりに当たる外国人選手になってるかもしれませんからね。試合の中でキラリと光るものを見せれるかどうか。その辺が気になるところです。さあまずはなかなか足ですね。足関節を狙いに行く、なかなか外国人選手では珍しいスタイルで試合が始まります。こうレガースをしているところを見ると、どっちかというとなんかシュータータイプなんですかね、マトリックスは。さあ手の取り合いから、しかしこれはやはり横山そうは簡単に取らせません。なかなかマトリックスなかなかあれですね、基礎的な練習もできる外国人選手ですね。さあ実力はいかほどか。これ横山あたりのこう対戦して試合内容でどれぐらいのねマトリックスが、力を持っているかっていうのを測るには一番横山としては一番いい相手なんではなかろうかと思いますからね。横山に勝つようなことがあるとマトリックス途端に、トップ外国人枠に食い込んでくる可能性もありますからね。さあしかし横山としてはそう簡単に新鋭外国人に負けるわけにはいかない。このヘッドロックでグイグイと締め上げていきます。さあしかしなかなか体格差がありながらもうまく投げて脱出するあたり技術は持ってる選手ですね、マトリックス。さあここは慎重に片足タックルから入ってきましたね。この辺も最近の外国人としてはちょっと珍しいパターンですね。しかしそう簡単にテイクダウンは取らせません。横山サイドヘッドロックに捉えてまたグイグイと締め上げていきます。ロープですさあショルダータックルになるとこれは体格でまた横山のが分がいい。しかしリープロックで飛び越えて投げようとしたらさすがにこれは投げさせない。この辺はやっぱり体格とか体重がものをしかしドロップキック、しかし一発では倒れない。ならばとホイップで投げてまたドロップキック。 動きがいいですね、マトリックス。さあエルボースマッシュで勝ち上げてきます。しかし横山カウンターエルボー、やはりね、そう簡単には横山としては攻め込ませるわけにはいきません。さあ両手を広げて来い来いと余裕の挑発をしていきます横山。エルボー合戦になるとやはりパワーで勝る横山の方が優勢。皆さんマトリックス頑張ってほしい。ここは気合を入れて負けないで向かっていってほしいところ。しかしランニングエルボーへなぎ倒す。さあでもまだまだカウント2で早めにキックアウトできますね。さあマトリックスこの後こうだんだん攻め込まれたあたりでどう切り返していくか、どういう反撃を見せるか、この辺に注目したいところです。さあまだまだおそらく日本式のプロレスのスタイルにはまだ慣れてないでしょうけどね、そういう中でこういう横山のようなパワーがあって体がでかい選手とやるのはなかなか大変だとは思いますが、何かひらりと光るものを見せてほしいマトリックス。一方の横山はですね、3月6日後楽園ホールで行われる15周年記念大会、まだ、カードが決まってないんですよね。横山としては、早めにカードを決めてほしいのか、それとも、01ランブルあたりで出場になるのか、はたまた何か、ビッグサプライズなカードが待ってるのか。横山あたりここら辺でね、この15周年を迎える頃はこの辺で一皮むけるような何か大きな仕事をやってのけると面白い存在になってくるんですが、さあチンロックで締め上げていきます。この首を掴んでひねり上げるこのパワーファイターがよく見せる攻撃、これは細身の選手にとってはなかなかきついですよね。しかしブリッジして立ち上がって脱出するというなかなか独特な動きを見せますマトリックス。さあそのリングネーム通りブリッジが得意なのか。苦しそうですねマトリックスから外国人レスラーがね、こういい外国人レスラーが揃ってる団体っても最近ではあまり多くなくなってきましたからね。それは、それでもそうは言っても今大会は外国人選手が4選手出てますからね。この4選手の外国人レスラー、ジェームス・ライディアも、トップクラスの選手ですけども、その他の選手がね、どんどん上の方に上がってくると、また、日本人選手の競り合いが面白くなっていくですね。さあ、横山としては、マトリックスの力量は分かったでしょうか。さあ、リング中央で逆片指固め。細身のマトリックスとしては腰や足を攻められるとなかなか厳しいですよね。さあ一心ロープに手を出す。届くか。なんとか届いた。やはり腰への攻撃が厳しい。さあどうにか反撃したいのマトリックス。バックブローみたいなのを見せましたがカウンターエルボー。さあラリアットかわした。おっと飛びついてのコートし、なかなか面白い入り方をしますね。エルバタのような感じで投げるのかと思いきや、そこからの川ず落としと、これはなかなか外国人にしても珍しい動きです。さあ、串攻撃を蹴りで迎撃します。しかし、横山まだ行く。さあ、蹴りでど どうにか横山を弾き返してワンダイブ式ミサイルキック。体格的には細身ですが長身のだけにね、こういうスワンダイブドロップキックとかやるともろに長い足が横山の顔面に入っていきます。さあバックドロップ、高さがありました。さあマトリックスとしては横山に勝つにはもう 2,3 手欲しいところです。一気に畳みかけたいところ。バックを狙ってますか。バックを取りに行った。バック取った。さあマトリックスというリングネームだとやはりブリッジに期待してしまいますが、おっとフランケンシュタイナー、さらに背後から飛びついて回転ジュジャバーンとカウントする寸前。こういいですね、連続攻撃非常にいいですマトリックス。しかしパワースラム、ショートレンジラリアットを返しました。返したマトリックスとしてはなんとかこのピンチをしのぎで反撃に出たい。逆に横山としては一気に勝負入れたところ、デスバレーボム、デスバレーボムで3カウント。
All right, welcome back to the program, purists. At the top of the show here, a match from the 0-1 promotion in Japan that Daniel Parker sent us. A great match, but right now we've got a special guest. It's VCW Commissioner T.B. Doyle. How you doing, T.B.?
Hey, Hutchie, how are you, brother?
Well, I'm doing great. You sound like you're in a good mood.
Absolutely, Hutch. Things are going great. Things are finally on track, and I'm looking forward to the Iron Circle match this weekend at Lee's Palace.
Now, that's a specialty match of your own creation, correct?
Yes, sir. And you can find out all the details this Sunday at Lee's Palace at our anniversary.
Now, you were rather instrumental in us returning to Lee's Palace when you first came back here for your second tenure as commissioner at VCW. I believe it was July, August last year. We were in the midst of a string of shows out in the Ajax and Durham region. And the actual day you arrived, I mean, that was absolute chaos. Jackson Jarvis got blinded. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
I tell you, Hutch, that was a terrible day. There was minimal promotion, minimal security, minimal audience. Okay, things were not going well for VCW that day.
Well, things didn't go all that well for you that day either. Not only did you rip up the Smith-Hart Super Brawl contract, but you also got involved in a match. You and you.
Well, kerfuffle there.
Yeah, well, you and Goliath Ayala actually got physical there for a moment.
Yeah, not one of my shining moments, Hutch. And it caused some tension right off the bat between me and the board.
Well, I know that on VCW.net there's an article there explaining you had only arrived in the province a few hours before that. Of course, you contacted Eddie Saps, giving him the opportunity against Goliath Ayala, which is where all of this problem kind of started in the first place.
Yeah, Hutch, I already had, Saps and Ayala booked in that match, and Ayala certainly got what was coming to him. So I don't really feel bad about the situation, but I have been forced to give an apology to Herschel Ben Levy and Goliath Ayala, and I have done so.
An official apology.
An official apology.
All
and in
right.
the future, I will not get in the way if Goliath Ayala decides to cash in his contract, but I have a new caveat.
All right, what's that?
You have to let officials know in advance, before the bell, if you want to cash in that contract. No more waiting around like a thief in the night to see if the champion's beaten up enough and then all of a sudden deciding that you want to cash in the contract, okay?
And the board has agreed to these changes?
Yes, they have.
All right, well, that's good to know. As we can see by what's on the screen right now, your interactions with Ayala were not the only craziness that happened that day. We mentioned Jackson Jarvis getting blinded, but the Kung-Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop defended against the #1 contender, maniacal Nick Watts. And to the end of the match, Nick Watts got disqualified, put his hands on the ref, and he was not satisfied with that ending, ended up attacking the champion over and over. And in the end run, somehow he seemed to justify that he went in and he stole the Openweight Championship in the next event.
Scumbag move there, Hutch. Scumbag move.
An absolute scumbag move. And you know what? It was because he didn't get a rematch. He somehow decided in his mind he deserved a rematch. And it seems like you have given him a rematch, though. I mean, last week on the show, we saw that official rematch. Kung-Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop once again, or rather reclaiming his title, never losing it in the first place. But now you have given Nick Watts another shot at the title. I'm a little perplexed by this.
You know, Hutch, I wasn't a big fan of the whole scenario. You know, Nick Watts acting like a baby, stealing the title, things of that nature. But when he approached me, he offered me a deal I couldn't refuse.
And that deal was that Nick Watts would leave VCW if he could not defeat the Kung Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop. His frustration had finally taken hold of his logic, and he was basically ready to hit the bricks, and I'm sure you jumped at that opportunity, TB.
Well, you bet your button, son. And the Magan boys were nice enough to host it as the main event at Time for Action.
Time for Action, an absolutely fabulous show, and thanks to you for setting up that championship match. I know that when you arrived, there was issues at VCW, then your problems with the board in general and Smith Hart specifically kind of shackled you at first, but
we're hoping to have a new president very soon.
Well, yes, and this is your second tenure as the commissioner. Just like the first time, it has lasted far longer than we expected. It was supposed to be very short as we picked a new president, but of course, soon after that, your problems with Smith Hart and the board, and of course, Ricky Johnson, double heart attack. Our condolences go out to the Soul Man and his family, recovering right now. And of course, Smith Hart, just as his problems with you were smoothing over, he announced that he has prostate cancer along with his Hall of Fame brother, Bret Hart, the both of them. Very unfortunate. Our condolences go out to them. Executive producer out of here, as well as Brian Peters from Rogers TV, all of them off the board now. So we have replaced those people. Terrence Gordon from marketing has moved up. Of course, William Matthew Bradley, longtime member of the board, has now announced that he will be running for president. But Smith Hart's official replacement, former President Matt Garrett, back here in VCW on the board, and he has told me he's already put his name in the hat to be the president as well.
Ha! Well, you know, Matt's a great guy, but with some of the antics I've seen him pull, I'd be surprised to see him get the presidency again. Not that he can't handle it, but being so fresh back in the fold, you know, I think it's a bit hasty.
Well, perhaps, but good luck to former President Matt Garrett as well as everybody on the board who's running for president. We'll get that sorted out soon. But thanks very much for being here on the show here today. We'll talk to you very soon.
Okay, goodbye, Hutch. I'll see you this weekend at the Iron Circle.
All right, and as we can see on the screen here, let's get down to the ring. It's time for our title match, the Kung Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop against Nick Watts. It's Openweight Title time.
All right, and before we start, I want to put your hands together for one of the greatest referees, Mr. Harry T.
All right, well, Hutch Henry's here at VCW headquarters, and Nick Watts attacking the current champion, Kung Fu Canuck Christopher Bishop, as per his usual MO, attacking guys from behind. But unlike my usual MO, I am not here with the infamous Jay Moore. He has sent his weekly podcast partner on Tonight with Hipstar Tonight to me, of course, the Hipstar, Zach Atticus. How you doing, Zach?
Well, thanks, Hutch. You know, today's a good day, you know, except for everything in the world.
Yeah, you seem kind of down. What the hell?
Well, this is a pleasure, I suppose, but I'm watching a match, a title match I'm not involved in.
Oh, wow, right off the bat, big super kick there. And if anybody should be depressed, Zach, it's me having to work with you. I never thought I would actually miss Jay Moore.
I've been in the ring with him before, with Christopher Bishop, and I just got to say, that was a cheap shot. He does that way too often, and people get cheered for.
Oh, over the top rope. Nice plunger, and he didn't even get any momentum right from the center, just right over the top rope onto Nick Watts. Look at that.
I'll agree that was some good elevation, I suppose. Nick Watts, though, you know, he's a vet.
Oh, nice leg drop over the top. A little bit, I wouldn't say that was too.
Didn't really get most of it there, though.
Yeah, it wasn't very pretty.
Well.
And classic Kung Fu Canuck there.
Too many flips.
You are one negative Nancy, aren't you? I don't think I'm going to invite you here anymore for this.
We got the shaky cam going on here. It's, you know, Bishop's on top, but he's the champ, I suppose. So.
Well, this was very last minute here. Mangan boys, time for action, put together by Commissioner T.B. Doyle. And a little bit of shaky camera work, but one heck of a match. Look at all the kids at ringside. This is great.
Well, a fan favorite doesn't make a good wrestler, Hutch. All right, you got to remember that. Oh, the close forearm there. That was cheap. What's going on here?
Whoa, going for the head scissors there and missed it. Looks like Watts just snatched him and then, whoa, big release, German suplex, flipping the champion right over. That was vicious, Zach.
Dangerous, dangerous. I got to say one thing about Nick Watts. He has a great stance in the ring.
Well, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Wham! Right on top of his head, the champion. Poor guy.
The collision of the vertebrae.
That probably doesn't know where he is right now.
Wow. This is kind of surprising. I mean, Watts should have took control right away after that very wonderful tactic.
Here he is, kick to the gut, taking control now. Let's see if there we go, a wider camera angle here. The cameraman, geez, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, there's too many kids going on. I mean, there's a riot going on. How can you focus?
And choking out the champion, Nick Watts.
The ref's not even doing his job. He's just kind of like hanging out.
Hey, a long-time classic Ontario ref with a lot of experience, Harry T. And we love this guy. You're going to be seeing a lot more of him around VCW, believe me. Oh, to the gut, and Watts having none of it. Big forearm to the champ.
I feel Bishop fights back too much. You know what I mean?
Fights back too much. You are one of the most illogical people I've ever had to sit here with.
Yeah, just take a breath and...
Oh, nice Pele kick right to the mush, and Watts feeling that one.
Impressive flippy-dippy kick. But look at that knee. Nick Watts on top of it, you know?
Kitchen sink right to the gut, flipping over the champ. A la British Bulldog, very much a Davey Boy Smith move right there.
I can't wait for the Nick Watts autobiography on how to control your opponent in the ring. Look at this. This is just absolutely wonderful.
Come on, ref. Get on top of him.
It's not my favorite work, but you have to admit Nick Watts, he's maniacal.
Nice vertical suplex there. No delay, no nothing. Just driving down the champ. And classic Nick Watts nonchalant pin here. And he's going to pay for it.
Wow.
Two and, oh, just barely out. Double axe handle to the back of the head. Nick Watts really driving it home this match. If he doesn't win this match, Zach, we're never going to see Nick Watts again. He has never defeated the Kung-Fu Canuck in his entire career. He'll probably just leave out of disgust for himself.
He wouldn't put that on the line if he didn't know what he was doing, honestly. Nick Watts is a captain for the most part, in this match at least. He's very smart, very logical, I'd say.
Well, you know what? I got to agree with you. Nick Watts is probably up to something here, putting his career, at least his career at VCW, on the line. And look at these guys throwing fists back and forth here. Nick Watts blocking that one, spinning the champ around. Oh, wow. Just popping those ears.
Look at, wow. Not how I would do it. It's not exactly how I'd do it, but, you know, he's very smart in there. He knows what he's doing.
Big kick out from the champ, just barely after a big boot right to the mush. And now Watts choking again. Come on, Harry D. Get him off of the champ.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a choke that I like to do. Drain the life out of him, you know?
Well, you like to do a lot of stuff in there. Speaking about flippy-dippy, you're all over the place with running chops and knees and all this stuff. I got a list of your moves around here, don't I?
Nick Watts, man. I just got to say, I gave him a diet plan. He is not following it. You can see in this ring, but his cardio is in-ring stamina right now. It's phenomenal.
Burying a couple knees right to the ribs. And then a nice exploder suplex from the champ, Christopher Bishop, trying to get control again. Here we go, Lion Salt. You can hear longtime VCW fan Martin Freeman in the audience yelling, Lion Salt! And he is absolutely right. Let's take another look at it right here, Zach. And wham!
Very impressive, but I knew he wasn't going to get the 3 on that. I mean...
Oh, you seem to know everything, don't you?
Well, you know, I will write a book, but after we have a new champion, you know, I think that my philosophy will change on wrestling, honestly.
A nice turnaround there. Nick Watts leapfrog by the champ, and whoa, look at the elevation on that backdrop. Nick Watts has had control this whole match. He's one step ahead of the champ every single time.
Oh, but he's taking it over with raw power. I mean, Bishop doesn't have that in him. Like, let's look at this, Hutch. He's a power captain.
Nick Watts definitely with the weight advantage on on Christopher Bishop, and I do believe a very small height advantage as well, but he has never put those shoulders to the mat for a 3 count or submitted Christopher Bishop in his entire career, so that has not seemed to be been a factor so far in meetings between these two.
Oh, well, this is kind of unlike him, though. I mean, this is not a good idea.
No, this is classic Nick Watts here, twisting elbow. Oh, and connects. Wow, could be it right here. And come on, the champ's shoulder is up, Harry D. Come on.
Wow.
Almost a 3 count there, and it would
shouldn't
have
have
been
been it.
a very unfortunate situation if Nick Watts had gotten the count there.
No, I Skyped with Nick Watts a couple days before this bout, and he was working out his shoulders, you know, that power, that elbow, you know, exactly the recommendations I gave him, and he's taking it. I'm really
surprised
glad.
that you've been so critical of Nick Watts in this match. I know you guys are friends, but we'll be back after this, and we'll see if Nick Watts can do it. All right, purists, welcome back to Victory Wrestling Showcase, and unfortunately, I am still here with the hip star, Zach Atticus.
Again, Nick Watts in control.
Yes, well, we are, of course, back with our Openweight Title match as well.
He's got a great look, great power, and Bishop's just got speed, man. I mean,
Oh, pulling the hair there. Come on, Harry D.
and dirty deeds. It's brilliant, really. Oof,
Nice Northern Lights suplex.
a little bit of cheap there, but
A little bit of cheap. We see that from the champ all the time. A very intelligent and very skillful move that he's executed. Does not get the 3 count very often, but it'll sure take the wind out of you, Zach.
those close shots. Ref not even getting in there.
Spinning back fist. Oh, the reverse uppercut Pele kick from the champ. Setting him up here. What's he going for? Big spear shoulder block in the corner. Taking the wind right out of Nick Watts a second time.
You do not let that much space get in between you and the champ. And all he's got going from his speed, you don't let him get that far away from you. Hang on to
Well,
it.
that's why he's the champ, Zach, because he's good at getting those advantages and making that distance so he can utilize moves like that. Big super kick to Nick Watts.
Come on, Nick. You got to get on top of it, man. Come on, do something.
Oh, to the side of the head.
Cheap kick. There should be illegal in this league.
And the kids at
honestly.
ringside going crazy, and Martin too. Run, come, run. He's absolutely correct.
Come on, Nick. Get away. No.
Here we go, gonna finish him off here.
do it.
Split-legged moonsault from the champ. Oh no! I thought that was it. Nick Watts seen it one too many times, had it
Silly.
scouted, and about time.
Silly mistake. Now all the wind's out and
Oh, whoa!
big knee.
Big
Exactly.
knee to the back of the head, driving the champ's head down. Let's see. Oh, almost. We saw that last time. Let's see it again. A new move in the arsenal of Nick Watts. Wham! Head first down into the mat.
Nick Watts got to be a little more technical with those pin covers, if you ask
Look
me.
at his
though.
face. These kids yelling and screaming at Nick Watts. He is getting pretty frustrated. The audience yelling, "You suck" at Nick Watts.
Don't let them get to you. Don't listen to them. They don't matter. They don't control the belt.
Oh, the audience always gets under Nick Watts' skin. It's one of his very few weaknesses. Oh, big standing release gourd buster there.
Beautifully executed.
The champ feeling it, Nick Watts. Oh man, setting him up for the picture perfect DDT. If he hits it, it's gonna be over here, Zach.
Get your framing right.
Oh man,
Wonderful depth of field.
float over here from Nick Watts and it's over.
Oh.
No way.
Wow.
Nick Watts, new VCW champ.
I did not see that coming. Wow.
Can't believe it. And playing Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know they didn't have the appropriate music here, but geez, I'm sure that makes him happy, but dude, ridiculous.
He lined it up. He set him up perfectly. Did you see that, Hutch?
Well, very much a deserved win here. I got to give it to him. I must admit I'm a bit shocked, maybe even a bit dismayed, but Nick Watts, congratulations. A clean and extremely definitive victory from Nick Watts
Look at
here.
it. This is smart.
Oh,
Yeah.
again, come on, attacking the champ again. He was one step ahead of him all match, and that's not enough for a guy like this. He's got to try and put him in the hospital.
End his career. Make sure he never comes back.
Well, I know that Christopher Bishop was having some serious neck problems before this match. He had seen a doctor, some bone spurs, and who knows what's going on right now. That could have very much ended his career,
Who
Zach.
cares what's going on now? We got a new champion. Brilliant. New VCW champion.
Makes me sick. But unfortunately, a clean victory for Nick Watts. Yes, unfortunately his. All right, well, thank you very much, hip star Zach Atticus, for joining me. I have a bone to pick with Jay Moore now that he sent you here to VCW headquarters. But we will see you next time here on Victory Wrestling Showcase. Thanks very much for joining us for the hip star Zach Atticus. I am Hutch Henrys, and don't forget to join us this weekend, March 13th, for the 4th annual VCW Iron Man Rumble. It's our anniversary, Zach. It's gonna be great.
Because I'm a hip star and you are not.
Woo!